back to my kitchen. Feels weird, there's nothing really else I can say here, is there? I hope you've all been having a wonderful week so far. Today, at this yoga flow, we're going to focus all about the hips. So I've kind of drawn this one up and written it up from my own practice that I did last night, and it was really all about just like moving your hips in every direction they can. I know we usually focus on a lot of lunging and a lot of forward movement from the hip, stretching out hip flexor, etc. I want to get a little bit more twisty, a little bit more side to side as well, so we're really going to massage out everything and enjoy that. Yeah, I mean enjoy being used loosely, because I know some of you love all the hippie stuff. It's probably my favourite area that we work on, a little bit of a bias towards it. I get that some of you hate it, but if you hate it, then you're probably the people that it's best for. So good news is we're going to start on our backs. So chuck your mat down, join me. You're going to come lying on your back, and you're just going to hug your knees into your chest and give them a really gentle little massage round in baby circles. So little circles with the hips and the knees. You're going to feel like you're massaging your lower back into the floor. And then take those circles and move them back the other way. Good. This should just feel a little release through the lower back, maybe in the hip flexors. If you start to bring your knees a little closer into your chest, make those circles a tiny bit bigger. Lovely. And then settle here as the knees come in towards the chest. See if you can lift your upper body, your chin onto your chest, and give those knees a really big squeeze in. Hug them to you, round the upper and lower back. Take a big breath in. Exhale, release. Left leg all the way long to the floor. Keep a hold of the right. And hug that knee in tight to you. I'm just going to hang out here for a moment. Lovely release on the hips. A really gentle stretch here. Just hugging and drawing the knee in. This is pretty much a stretch I like to do every morning. So when you're lying in bed, kind of waking up for the day. Give each knee one at a time, just a really nice squeeze in towards you. And you're going to feel, depending on how tight your hip flexors and hamstrings are, just a really nice kind of releasing feeling in the front of your pelvis. Take that big squeeze and turn it into baby circles again. Just maybe release one hand and move the knee around in a circle. Bring a little bit of life, a little bit of movement to the hip one way and then the other. And then take a hold of the back of that leg and send the foot up to the ceiling, hamstring stretch. Hamstring stretch, we want a nice straight knee. So think about pushing your heel up, straightening through the knee. And then once the leg is straight, you can maybe, if it feels right, just work the hands a little higher up the leg. Take for me 3 deep breaths here. Think about inhale, straighten that knee, draw energy into the quad. Exhale, relax the shoulders, let gravity pull your leg a little lower. One more breath just to soften this stretch here. Take an exhale breath, bend at the back of the knee. Take opposite hand, so left hand to the outer part of the right knee. And then draw the leg and the hip across you. Come into this beautiful lying twist. We want to try and anchor the shoulder blades. So bring your right arm, bend at 90 degrees at the elbow. Place the palm up towards the ceiling, little half cactus arms. And then depending on how this feels in your hip, just keep drawing and allowing that knee to come over. If it reaches the floor, then let it rest. Don't compromise, letting the shoulder blades lift. You want to feel all this twist through the waist, through the lower back, just stretching off into the upper glute, back of the hip here. Take for me again those 3 deep breaths. Inhale and exhale, soften. As you release out of that stretch, we're going to bring it up and lift it. So I want you to release your back arm, bring that foot flat to the floor, so the right leg is hooked over the left, and then coming up either onto your elbow, a little less intense stretch, or if you make it, up onto the hand, a little more intense stretch. Some of you are going to feel this one already, outer part of the glute, outer part of the leg. If so, hang out here. Keep the knee aligned directly over the ankle. If you're not getting this stretch yet, it's a good thing. You have nice flexible hips. I want you to take your bottom left foot and slide your hips back towards the foot, keeping right foot grounded. And the further you can go, so the higher up this foot sits on your body, then you're going to start to feel this lovely stretch here. Breathe in, hold. Exhale, we're really turning forward through the chest and the pelvis, feeling this beautiful outer thigh stretch. Point the bottom toe, bring energy up that bottom leg. Push the foot, big toe, into the floor to protect the kneecap and the ankle. Inhale, hold. Exhale, go a little further. Inhale, hold. Exhale, soften. Inhale, take both hands around, find them onto your mat, and by tucking your bottom toes onto the floor, you're going to pick up the hips, turn them towards your mat, square on, take a long step back into high plank. Hold here, shoulders down the back, chest lifted, eye gaze forward, squeeze the butt, maintain a strong straight spine. Exhale, knees to the floor, flatten feet. Draw the exhale breath down through your first vinyasa. Inhale to baby cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes and the knees. Push your way back into it. Down dog. Feet are that hip width apart. Soften your knees if your hamstrings are feeling this one quite strong. And work on exhaling, pulling the shoulder blades together behind you, finding that lovely straight spine in your down dog. We're staying with the right leg here. So think about exhaling, bending both knees. Inhale, draw the right knee forward, lunge, land on the outer part of the hand, and then drop the back knee and the foot to the floor. Maintaining this twist through the hips. You're going to first take a few breaths just to exhale and draw the hips forward and down into that hip flexor stretch. And then by using either elbow to inner part of the knee and pushing that foot out, or taking the hand onto the ankle, just drop and settle into your hips. Let your body turn ever so slightly towards that front knee. Temptation is here. I do it all the time to roll your ankle because it kind of feels comfy. It's not as good for your knee and your ankle. So flatten the foot to the floor, create pressure through your big toe, squeeze and scrunch the toes into the floor, and then drop your hips further and just ever so slightly push that knee out without lifting the foot. Beautiful. How are your hips starting to feel? Feels good. We're going to have a good day after this one. Exhale, hands flatten to floor. Inhale, back knee lifts. Exhale, push through high plank. And exhale on knees or toes all the way to the floor. Inhale through cobra. Exhale, up through down dog. Inhale, bend the knees, crouch. Exhale, last time, take that right knee forward and lunge. Drop back foot to the floor, lower the hips. For our last little twist on this side, we're going to bring the hand up, and we're going to come across the front leg. So draw your hips back if you need to start with, and I want you to take the left elbow all the way across your right knee. Just like so. Palms together, push against them to lift the chest, and then exhale to work the hips down. If you're not able to get your elbow past here, it's absolutely fine. You can bring palms together and stay a little higher up. That's nicer in your upper back and your hips. If you can make it with the elbow, and just drawing the chest up here. And you're going to hold for about 4 deep breaths for me. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, let the hips go lower. Let more twist in your chest happen. And if you want a little stronger option, I want you to tuck the back toes. Keep working the hips low. And breathe the back kneecap off the floor. Inhale, hold. Exhale, go lower. Inhale, squeeze up that kneecap. We want a straight back leg with low hips. Take your last exhale breath to find both hands back to the floor. Inhale, send it back into high plank, and then move through your vinyasa. A little bit stronger Stay lifted if you want to now. Exhale back into down dog. Take a little walk of your dog, side to side in the hips. One knee bends, one knee straightens. Moving again. We're just really thinking about working, moving and kind of grooving through what feels really nice in your hips today. I don't want you to force any stretches. We're just enjoying this time. Exhale, bend the knees and crouch. Inhale, spring right leg forward, foot outside hand, and then bring the left leg to meet that as well. So we're taking a wide stance. Feet just a little bit wider than the hips, toes turned out. I'm going to come face on just to show you this one here. Sitting into either a sumo squat, elbows onto knees, hips in line with knees, or dropping if you can down into our Hindi squat. Take a moment to mobilize the ankles and just sway from side to side, moving through the hips. I don't know why I'm so out of breath today. This isn't even very intense or sweaty like we usually do. It's probably the heat. The wonderful weather that we're blessed with. So just again, enjoying, grooving through the hips, moving wherever feels right for you. And when you're ready and you can, make sure the heels stay flat to the floor and sit into your Hindi squat. Elbows inside the knees. Option on the sumo squat, leave the hips higher if you need to. Option, wedge something under your heels. With a slightly more elevated heel position, it's a little bit easier to sit into this deep squat. And by pushing your knees out, pressing the palms together, breathe a little bit of height back into the chest, a little bit of length back into your spine. Take 3 here. Lovely work. If you're still facing the end of your mat, or if you've joined me, I want you to pop the hands to the floor. Inhale, lift up the hips, and then step one foot behind the other. Take a lie down onto the floor, onto your back. Hug the knees in and give them a roll. Good. How do your hips feel? They should be feeling a little bit looser and a little bit warmer than they did in this position a couple of minutes ago. I'm going to move the whole thing through the other side. So when you're ready, drop the right leg all the way down to the floor. Keep a hold of the left knee. Hug it into your chest. See if you can work your hands a little lower down your shin. Maybe even interlace them. Give that knee a really big squeeze up and in towards your chest and your shoulder. Enjoy there, that initial just release that we get through front of the pelvis and the hip flexor. Take a few breaths just to steady your heat, your heart rate back down. And then find hand to knee and give that leg, that knee a little big roll out. Oh, my glasses are steaming up. I really am getting warm today. Couple of times one direction, back the other. Before you find your hands to the back of the knee, back of the thigh. Kick the leg up nice and straight, hamstring stretch. Inhale, push straight through the back of the knee. Draw energy up, kneecap and front of thigh. Exhale, take the hands as high or as low as feels right for you. A little bit lower, keeping a hold of the thigh, absolutely fine. Inhale a little bit more, kick that heel right up to the sky. Exhale to soften the shoulders. Inhale to keep strong through the quad. Exhale this time, bend the back of the knee. Take right hand to outer part of left knee and draw it all the way over. Let the hips and pelvis lift to twist. Let the shoulder blades stay grounded to the floor, little half cactus with this left arm. And just come all the way across so you feel this lovely releasing twist and stretch in your lower back. Right into that upper glute, back of the hip. Inhale, hold. Exhale, soften the shoulders and the hands. Release any tension you might be holding in your neck. And then our lovely little transition here into our first level twisted lunge. You're going to keep that leg, keep left leg over the top of the right leg. Turn your body to face the side of your mat and ground that left foot to the floor. Coming up and staying wherever feels comfortable for you. Slightly less intense, we're going to keep the elbow down and enjoy this stretch here, back of the hip and glute. Little touch more. We can bring hand to the floor, lift the chest higher, intensify the stretch here, and then use a few exhale breaths to find that point where you feel this stretch in the hip and the butt. See if you can slide your right leg longer to the floor, keeping the left foot grounded. You might even want to put your hand on it here, just to secure it to the floor. Inhale, pull up the chest. Exhale, drop the shoulders. Inhale, squeeze the butt. Exhale, go a little bit longer. Point that bottom toe. Inhale, hold. Exhale, relax, release. Inhale, take both your hands over onto your mat. Square them about shoulder width apart and then transition here using that bottom foot. Tuck it under and lift the hips to release towards the mat. Exhale, move through high plank. Whatever level feels right for you, take your vinyasa. Up and over, into down dog. Inhale, bend the knees, crouch. Exhale, spring left foot to outer part of left hand. Dropping down, back knee to floor. Take a moment to either lift the left arm and go elbow onto inner part of the thigh, or just hand onto ankle, and by dropping and letting your hips roll ever so slightly to the left. Enjoy that stretch and that little bit of release, again through the back of the hip, outer part of the glute, outer part of the leg. And as you're working your hip towards the floor, you're also going to feel this one release the hip flexor and that back leg too. Inhale, think about scrunching and grounding the toes to the floor on that front foot. Exhale, just think about rolling and releasing the hips to the place that feels comfortable for them. Inhale, hands to floor. Exhale, tuck the back knee and lift, send it back to high plank. Take a slow vinyasa. Staying lifted and strong if it feels right for you today. Or dropping down onto the knees if that feels comfy too. Exhale up to down dog. Inhale, bend the knees, crouch. Exhale, spring left foot one more time. Each lunge through should be feeling a little bit looser as we go. Back knee to floor, foot rested. Inhale, come up out of your lunge ever so slightly and bring either right forearm across the left knee, or if you make it elbow past, and wherever you are, just bring the palms together, block using that arm or that elbow, and breathe the chest up to feel the twist. About 5 big deep breaths here. Inhale, lifting chest and collarbones. Exhale, dropping into the hips, letting them push forward and down. Inhale, slightly more intense option, tuck the back toes. Exhale, God, I'm wobbly today. Breathe the energy and lift that back knee. Stay here, 3 more breaths. Using the breath to rock through the movement. Inhale, squeeze back kneecap. Exhale, drop and lower the hips. Inhale, push the hands and lift the chest. Exhale, soften into those hips. Inhale, wind your hands back down onto the floor. Exhale, high plank. Inhale, off we go. Last vinyasa today. As strong as you want to make it. And then from your down dog here, drop your knees wide, big toes together. Sit back into your child's pose. Bring the forehead to the floor and rest it. Then take a little rock from side to side. Last bit of movement in the hips. I'd love to know how you guys are feeling after this one. When I planned it, it was a little more stretchy than strong. All about kind of moving our hips. But I seem to be super out of breath. So I think it might actually have been harder than I expected. Keep that little rock from side to side in the hips. Maybe move it through the shoulders at the same time. Release out any tension you've created. Just acknowledge and feel how loose and lovely your hips feel here. Take an exhale breath, relax the arms, head, shoulders down towards the floor. Reset, take a moment to enjoy the feeling in your body and your hips, the work your body's done for you. And when you're ready to, inhale, rise on up. Exhale, come over, take a seat. Ground wherever feels right for you. And there we are. Well, hopefully your hips feel lovely. Hopefully you're not as out of breath as I am. I think it's the heat, it's got to be. It's lovely and warm, and I'm not complaining because I love the hot weather. But yeah, let me know how your hips feel. It should feel lovely and juicy and kind of a little bit more free. This is going to be an ideal one as a primer for a workout or post-workout, just to release off and stretch. Or if you're doing it in the morning, I hope you feel a little bit more awake than you did 20 minutes ago. Other than that, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys super soon. Lots of love.